It's National Work Zone Awareness Week, and I hope you're just as excited as I am. Have you ever noticed how people talk about work zone accidents like they're rare? Like it's just bad luck, wrong place, wrong time? Yeah, that's not exactly what the numbers say. And if you've ever thought, that won't happen to me, go ahead and hit that like, follow, and share button before we get into it, because this one right here is gonna change how you look at work zones. It's Labor Lines, let's get after it. If I ever had an episode I wish would go viral, it'd probably be this one right here. We can do better when it comes to work zone safety. The problem is, we just don't talk about it enough. We might see a bad crash on the news, but for some reason, we still don't slow down. And after I started looking into this a little deeper, it didn't just give me a better understanding, but a clearer warning about my own driving, and it's truly slowed me down in work zones. Because you don't have to be driving fast or reckless. You can be doing everything right and then somebody hits you from behind. It can happen before you know it. In 2023, there were over 40,000 work zone crashes in the US, and tens of thousands of those people were injured in those incidents. Now, out of those 40,000, there were 898 people that were unalived. Let that sink in for a second. And remember that accidents are preventable, all of them. When you break that down, that's over 100 crashes and around 2 to 3 people unalived every single day in work zones. And here's the part people don't expect. Most of those aren't even the workers, they're drivers and passengers. That means when you roll into a work zone thinking it's just an inconvenience, you're actually entering one of the most dangerous parts of your drive without even realizing it. Now let's talk about what's actually going wrong, because this isn't random. The biggest type of fatal crash in work zones is rear-end collisions. Not something unpredictable, not some freak accident, rear-end collisions, the most common type of wreck. That's people following too close, not paying attention, not adjusting when traffic slows down. In 1 year alone, hundreds of fatal crashes came from that exact situation. And if that doesn't tell you what the real problem is, nothing will. This isn't complicated. It's distraction, it's speed, and it's people thinking they've got more time than they actually do. Now, let's look at this. Back in 2015, about 35% of highway worker fatalities were caused by vehicles striking them. By 2021, that number jumped to 63%. That's not a small increase. That means the real risk isn't the job, it's the traffic moving through it. And when 60% of contractors say they've had crashes in their work zones, and 43% say those crashes led to injuries or worse, that's not random. That's something they're dealing with all the time. And this is where it really starts to hit. What it actually cost. And yeah, the biggest cost is people, no question about that. But it doesn't stop there. The total damages from these crashes is estimated to be over $38 billion every single year. That's medical bills, lost wages, insurance, project delays, legal issues, and in the worst cases, lives that don't come back. And that cost doesn't just hit one person, it hits families, workers, companies, and the taxpayers paying for those projects. To put that into perspective, if we reduced even a portion of these crashes, we're talking about billions of dollars saved every year, enough to fund major infrastructure projects or repair thousands of miles of highway. That's how big this actually is. And then there's how fast it goes wrong, because this is the part people always overestimate themselves on. At highway speed, you don't have time. At 65 miles an hour, you're covering close to 100 feet every second. That means that by the time you see something, realize it, and react, you've already gone the length of a football field. And on a work zone, that space just isn't there. Lanes are tighter, traffic patterns change, and you've got people working just feet away from moving vehicles. So when something goes wrong, it doesn't build up slowly. It happens all at once. And by the time you realize it, you're already in it. And that's why this week matters. National Work Zone Awareness Week isn't about slowing you down or adding frustration to your day. It's about making sure people go home at the end of it. It's about understanding that what feels routine to you is real risk for someone else. And it's about realizing that most of these crashes aren't random. They're predictable, following too close, not paying attention, not adjusting to the conditions. So here's the question. The next time you hit a work zone, are you treating it like a delay, or are you treating it like the risk that it actually is? Because the decision doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone in that zone. Sharing this video will help make sure people see it, and it may be just the thing that somebody needs to slow them down. And don't forget to follow, because this is a conversation worth having and one we're going to keep pushing forward. This is Labor Lines with Alex. As always, my good friends, be safe, be productive, be well, and be careful out there driving.